What would your higher self do? What would be the best version of yourself be doing? Who in your life, who do you want to be in your life that is the most improved? I feel like that wasn't a very good one, but it's like, think of the person that you want to become. Imagine them and ask yourself, are you acting like them or the person that will eventually become them? For example, if you want to be ripped, if you want to have big muscles, if you want to run a marathon, if you want to paint like Da Vinci, if you want to be good at a language, do your current actions align with your goal. Actions speak louder than words. Actions do. And one thing that gets my butt moving is asking myself, Emma, what would the best version of you be doing? Because today, I did not want to go to the gym at all. I was like, nope. I ate breakfast. I had like homework I had to do. I had to do a lot of things. And so I just wanted to sit on my butt and do nothing. But like, that's tough. But I'm like, Emma, you should. Because when you start swimming tomorrow, it's going to feel a lot better if you go to the gym today, because your muscles won't be as like, I don't know, they're just like a little jammed up, little not used type of thing. And that was one of the things that made me think about that. And I think also just moving forward with my actions, like what I should do next. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do a lot of things, but I don't want to do them. But then I was like, Emma, what would the best version of you do? And I think it kind of all stems back to thinking about being the blank, being the pronoun, being, for me, the woman, being the woman that I would look up to. How would she act? How would she behave? And I think it's a lot of pressure at times to think about that, which I don't think is very realistic to always have that pressure on you. But I think sometimes pressure is needed to get things done. Like, without coal, heat, and pressure, you don't have man-made diamonds. And it kind of comes down to crunch time. And I think that being able to sometimes look forward and to sometimes be realistic with yourself and question what you want next and how you would get there. Because I, like, from like my earlier videos, I had like a poster board or like a cork board, and it had a lot of cute pictures as my vision board. And I have a bunch of those. I have all the pictures still. And I think one of the best things was having that cute thing, and it was decoration too. But regardless, I think being able to know what you want, maybe not exactly, but an idea of what you want. Because then you can kind of have an idea and you can kind of better understand. Because it kind of gets heavy when you feel like you have responsibilities. Like, it's not like that juvenile, but like when you realize every single thing that you have to get done and it leaves space for nothing for you to do. And I think it's kind of not as lonely when you ask yourself, what would the best version of you do? Because it's kind of like the present you and then the future you are together. And so you have that person in front of you with you and knowing that you will get there. And I think also knowing that you're not alone, because no matter how hard your past was, no matter what happened in your past, to an extent, your past self is still with you. And your future self is with you. Because there are probably some nights that you wish you had someone to hug. That you wish you would have somebody next to you telling you that it's going to be okay. And they truly meant it. And that is the future self of you. That is your future self. Telling you that it will be okay. Giving you that hug that you needed. Being that listening ear that you needed. Or that sounding board. And it's kind of like looking forward to know they're looking back proud. To know that you are looking back at yourself being proud of your actions, your intentions, your goals, your morals, and your values. Would your future self be proud of your current self? Would your past little kid self be proud of who you are now? I think that's a question you can ask yourself to reality check you. Because sometimes going in different directions is not the way that was the way intended. I think sometimes we can get intentions intertwined with certain outcomes, and certain outcomes lead to different results, but are those intentions based on good things to get those results? And would your future self be proud of you for making those decisions? Would your past self be proud of you as well? Because you are yesterday's present. You are yesterday's tomorrow. And I think being able to reflect on that and reflect about who you are and what you're doing is one of the most important things, because sometimes we don't know the answer. Sometimes we have hard decisions that we have to make and we wish we would have chosen something differently, but you can't blame yourself. You can't. You can only move forward, and that to know that you shouldn't give yourself a hard time, because I always say this. I always say this. Hindsight is always 20/20. Your future self would know what to do, but without that knowledge and that experience, you wouldn't. And so there's a balance between making yourself or your future self proud and putting too much pressure on yourself, while still making your past self proud without putting too much pressure on yourself. And I say this because it's hard, and that you want to be everything to everybody, but sometimes then you're left with nothing for yourself, and you can't put those actions that you want, or those words into actions like you wanted to. And so trying to figure that out, it was hard. But I want you to leave. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm so sorry. I'm word salading all my words right now and yawning. I want to leave you with this. What are you doing that makes your current self proud? I want you to do something for yourself that you haven't done in a while. To give yourself the grace and the time to let yourself breathe, and to be kind to yourself, and to know that regardless of anything, your future self is looking back at you and just wants to give you a hug, and your past self is looking at you and thinking, how did I get that far? Because they are. Food for thought.